Welcome back. It's your girl Lils, and today I want to talk about 4 Bible verses about money. So, as you may or may not know, I started this channel. It's gone through a few names in the last couple of weeks, but I feel like I'm landing on learning in my 40s. But ultimately, it started out as a journey with my finances to being my journey to being debt free, documenting that process, what it looked like, what it felt like, what I'm doing to get out of debt, what I did to get in debt, and how I'm healing some of my money traumas and money wounds that I've experienced in the last 40 years. So in my previous vlog, I talked about learning how to read the Bible at 40. Because one thing I didn't do much of growing up, even though I went to Catholic school, I was once a part of a Christian church. I grew up in a praying household where we went to church occasionally. I learned the term CEOs. We were very much Christmas, Easter only type churchgoers. The Bible is something that is me reading it by choice at 40 is something very new because I just turned 40 in April. It is now December. And I just started consistently reading the Bible 2 months ago. So you get the idea. I think one of the biggest themes for me and struggles this year to overcome, to understand, to learn more, to dissect and talk amongst my Lord God and Jesus is the topic of money. You know, I've gone to therapy, I journal daily, I read books on financial literacy. I feel like I'm very well versed in what went wrong. But I always felt like something was missing, and I have the steps of like invest, diversify, give back to people, right? That's great and all, but I just didn't know how to apply it. And then as my money was running lower and lower and lower, I was just getting more and more and more anxious and depressed and frantic and just making decisions out of desperation. So in this season of my life where I am turning to the word and just seeing what I can, just having more references, more tools, more resources to better understand and to stay focused and locked in on not just building my relationship with God, but making the right decisions to appreciate my money. Most people have a love-hate relationship with social media. I tend to err on the love side, and I know we shouldn't idolize or worship things that aren't, or people that aren't God. But I will say that certain people are built to relay messages. And I came across this one post, not the Luke challenge, because I am doing the Luke challenge. If you go to my previous vlog, I'm talking about how the Luke challenge really helped me to reemerge back into reading the Bible. But this one creator, I forget her name, she said something about asking for forgiveness for my bad spending habits, basically. And I was like, oh my God, I've never asked God for that. I've always asked God, forgive me for my sins, forgive me for being mean, for being a bee, for being a jerk, for being an a-hole, forgive me for being rude, for disrespecting my parents or my friends or, my colleagues, whoever, right? And it was one of those look in the mirror moments. And it's just like your biggest struggle, you've never asked or repented for messing it up or for not relying on God or for not making God your priority to help you, or to not only that, but forgive me for not seeing the blessings that you've already bestowed upon me. Because I was just like, oh, wow. So I basically I went and just prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and asked for forgiveness over my finances and over my terrible spending habits or my lack of awareness for said spending. And that made me think about well, I know I'm not the only one out there struggling, and maybe there are people that are looking for different resources and help. And because I am in my journey with my Bible, I had this realization. I was like, well, every morning I, open my eyes, thank God, gratitude, right? the usual bathroom stuff. But then I go to my devotional. Now I read my Bible, I journal, and then I'll read a few pages out of whatever book I'm reading, right? And it got me to thinking like, well, I am most grounded when I do these things, right? But I also feel like I can add to that. You know, every day, as long as we're getting 1% better, we'll always be successful. And success is subjective. So whatever you define success to be, that is yours to uphold and take action on. So my love language is words of affirmation. And I was like, you know what? I should sprinkle in some words of affirmations into my day. And then I was like, wait a minute. What if I said like a recurring Bible verse every morning to keep me grounded and to just keep me in check? Because one thing about me is I was never diagnosed, but I feel like I do have a bit of an ADHD brain where it's difficult for me to focus on one task because one, I'm just all over the place, but two, it's like my bad habits will take over what I'm actually supposed to do, or my avoidant behavior will kick in and I'll be like, oh, I'll just read one page even though I should be reading for a whole hour, right? So I was like, you know, let me add some Bible verses to really add to my accountability. If I'm about this life, if I want to get to know God, if I want to get to know the Word, what are some Bible verses I could say? And at first it was just going to be about money, which I will get into the 4 verses that really struck me. After doing a little bit of research, I will tell you guys my 4 verses that I came across that I'm going to recite every day. But also, I kind of remixed it. I just finished reading the 12-week year, which highly recommend. You're reading the 12-week year, but it breaks down how you plan your life and prioritize your life into 6 categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spiritual, you know, God, faith, whatever. Physical, so your health. Community, key relationships / partner / spouse, family, personal, business, and then I added this last one, money. So I was like, you know what? And I just took some time. That was one of my tasks today, was find some Bible verses that apply to each of these categories. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but if you want me to, I will do a whole separate video on the Bible verses I found for each category. So maybe you can also mirror this, or maybe I'll put it in a PDF or something in the description. Actually, I will make this the description of this video, because why wait? Why do you have to watch a whole separate vlog? Just give you the information now. But I want to go into the verses I found for money, because I feel like the way I can veer off of path, I need to repeat some of these things on a daily basis to keep me in check, like I said, and to keep me focused. And I will read them off now. So before we get into all of that, if you made it this far in the video, thank you again. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe. This is truly my journey in learning in my 40s, whether it's about God, whether it's about money, faith, purpose, learning how to cook, because that's one thing I do need to learn for sure. Just learning life in general. Then please subscribe. I appreciate it. I'm all about building community, and you being a part of my community would mean the world to me. And we can share each other's journey, uplift and encourage each other, and just become more self-aware, more self-confident, and show ourselves more self-love. And if that resonates with you, hit that subscribe button. But let's get into these 4 verses and let's talk about them in the comments. If you have some verses that resonate with you with any of these topics, spirituality, physical, community, key relationships, partner, spouse, family, personal, business, and or money, let me know, because the more the merrier, right? But the 4 that stood out to me today are as follows. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. this too is meaningless. Proverbs 13, verse 11. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Hebrews 13, verse 5. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. I'm sure many of us have heard that saying. And then finally, Luke 12, verse 33. Sell your possessions and give to the poor. Provide purses for yourself that will not wear out, a treasure in heaven that will never fail, where no thief comes near and no moths destroy. So that's where I landed with that, because I read through several and many of them were great, but something about those four just reminded me that, one, whoever loves money never has enough. And one of the mindset shifts I had to make this year was, I am enough, I have enough. And also knowing what is enough financially, like at the bare minimum, what is the amount of money I need to make in order to survive? Because sometimes that number can be conflated in our head and driving us crazy. When in actuality, it could just be, at bare minimum, I need to make $3,500 a month. At maximum, I need to double that. But if my survival number is $3,500, then let's hit that target, right? And if we don't, it's information to get better. And then the dishonesty, with money dwindles away reminds me, don't do things out of desperation. Don't do anything illegal. That's not my ministry, but I think it's a good reminder that sometimes we can make choices that may be legal, but just may not be morally or ethically good for me, to my standards. And then keep your lives free of the love of money. I felt like I was prioritizing my needs and wants around money, that I lost sight of God. So this is reminding me that if I keep God first, I don't have to worry about the other stuff, because God will never leave me nor forsake me. And then the reason I made Luke 12, verse 33, the last one, and I put these in order as well, is because I'm in a place right now, if you've watched a couple of my past vlogs from this week, you will see that I'm selling, donating a lot of my clothes and shoes that I've been holding on to, that I've been like, oh, but I love it, so many memories. I'm letting it go. And reading this verse today was confirmation of that decision, because I was on the fence about a lot of these things. I was keeping, the Bible says something about not to have duplicates or double of anything. And I was just like, dang, I have so many duplicates of things that I don't need. I'm a collector. And maybe that's something I'll have to deal with God or in therapy. But I love collecting things, memorabilia from sports events, concerts, travel. So I have bins and pictures of photos and newspapers and magazines. But I realized, I was like, I have 2, even 4 copies of some of these newspapers. It's been over 10 years. No one has come and said these are worth anything. And even then it's like, I just gotta let it go. I need to clear space in my home, give to someone else. Not that anyone can wear newspaper, but I'm just saying, the things that we're collecting in my house are unnecessary. But the clothes and the shoes, the bedding, all of that can go. I don't need it. In fact, I could probably do a second purge after this of the things that I don't want or need, because 1, it's like I gotta let go of old energies. 2, I want to give back. 3, this could be some side cash if I make money, but if I don't, I'm giving myself a deadline, 30 days. If I have none of this sells, then we just donate it. Point blank, period. So I hope these help you in your journey, wherever you're at with money, finances, or spiritual health, physical health, business, wherever you're at in life, whatever your struggles are. But also don't forget to celebrate and be grateful for your wins and losses, because life be lifing, and life is tough. But for me personally, having these reminders and these words of affirmations, these Bible verses handy in my toolbox so I don't stray too far away from or at all from God's plan, then I know I'll be good. So thank you again for watching. I hope these verses have helped you. And again, if you have verses that resonate with you that you recite on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, let me know them in the comments, because I want to add to my collection. Once again, oh my God, it just clicked. I'm a collector. And if I got to collect Bible verses, then I got to collect Bible verses. But for the most part, this is what stood out to me. And I'm going to be talking about other Bible verses that stuck out to me, especially 1 Thessalonians 4, the whole chapter. I read that today. Boom. I still need to study it, but that really hit me hard, like the whole chapter. 1 Thessalonians 4. So if you want to connect, hit that subscribe button. If you want to collaborate, hit the comments. And if you want to reach out to me directly, all the information will be in the description below. But I appreciate you so much. So much. And as I close out this vlog, I appreciate you. And remember, wherever you're at, we are in this together. I'm going to keep learning. And remember, life is a blessing. Trust the abundance. Talk to you guys later.